Yo, what's up? This is Richard Graves of the Richard Graves Group. And thank you guys for checking out the show today. Me and Jonathan are going to discuss just some, we're going to be too deep today. We're just going to discuss some comics and comic movies. I'm about to bring Jonathan on. Please like and subscribe to the podcast. We're going to be more frequently going on the YouTube platform and away from the Facebook platform because Facebook makes it very difficult to simply stream a show for you guys. So we're going to be moving over to YouTube. So like and subscribe over at YouTube, and we'll be talking to you. I'm about to bring Jonathan on. What's up, Jonathan?
You got it, man.
All right, man. You good?
Yeah.
How's it up there in Detroit, Michigan? I know you're not in Detroit, but in the Detroit area.
Well, I'm only 2 miles. Southfield is connected to Detroit, and I'm 2 miles in, so I'm there, man. I'm right in the mix. It's snowing, man. Snowing. Man.
Yeah, here too. Of course, we get the same weather y'all get. Like we go get some different weather.
Right.
So anyway, brother, I know that you've been waiting for me to see Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, man. It took you forever to see it, man. Come on, you're supposed to be like everybody else. Go the first day and come out, boom, 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 guns blazing on it, man.
But I know I saw Black Adam like the day it opened, and I've seen it 3 times since.
Yeah, Black Adam was not a punk.
No, not at all.
He was not having none of that.
Not at all.
Falcon Man, whatever the wings, he wouldn't have none of that neither.
No, I like balls. But man, I'm gonna say straight up, on the backdrop of my Facebook page has been Black Adam. Has been there ever since 2000.
Yep, since I met you, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, you legit on Black Adam.
Yeah, Black Adam is my DC dude. As you know, Dr. Doom is my Marvel dude. Mm-hmm. But with Adam, Adam has always been like that. So I was very familiar with the character, though a lot of people weren't. He was a member of Justice Society. That's why I'm glad that they tied the Justice Society in. I think they did a great job in Black Adam movie. I know the critics didn't like it. I don't think it was woke enough for the critics, But as far as I was concerned, it was a solid, packed action comic book movie. You got what you paid for with Black Adam. From the very beginning, he started killing people. And he ran with it. But I like Pierce Bronson as Dr. Fate also.
Okay.
And
the
2 kids they had were support characters. They're support characters in the comic. But I'm going to say this. With Black Adam, DC was able to introduce a fairly unknown character to the general public.
Yes.
And other unknown characters like Hawkman, they might have seen on TV on The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow. And Dr. Fate, I think maybe in a couple of the Stargirls with the Justice Society, and maybe mentioned once in Smallville. But to see, they did. I like the fact, no backstory, no origin. This is just who this is. This is the Justice Society, and this is Black Adam. You get somewhat of an origin story from Black Adam, but it's not like long and drawn out. Like they'll waste half a movie, telling us that Bruce Wayne's parents got killed or the from Krypton. It's got to it. Okay, we'll give you some glimpses and some flashbacks, but we're not going to spend too much time on that. So I think that was good. They got right to it, you know. So what'd you think?
I didn't know very much about Black Adam actually until I met you and I saw on your backdrop Black Adam. But the introduction, I think The Rock was a good pick. He's an action guy. And he came in and he was wrecking shop. He was knocking niggas' heads back. He was cracking the heads. And I
Mhm.
like that. I like an action superhero where he's action and you see his power and he ain't finna back down from nobody. I like that about back in you got what you paid for.
Yeah,
You
you
went to go
did.
see Black Adam, tear some shit up. That's exactly what you got for your money.
I'm gonna admit, man, I was actually pleasantly surprised that they highlighted his powers, the lightning powers. I thought they were gonna give him, Black Adam and Billy Batson, who plays the character Shazam, whose actual
Mhm.
name is Captain Marvel, but because of copyright reasons, DC couldn't title the movie Captain Marvel. Obviously, Marvel has their own version of Captain Marvel, but
Mhm.
Billy Batson Shazam, that is the original Captain Marvel from back in the 30s and 40s on Fawcett Comics. DC sued them. They end up losing. DC won the lawsuit, but oh no, Fawcett won the lawsuit, but but Fawcett went bankrupt fighting DC. So DC got all the Fawcett characters like Captain Marvel and Mary Marvel and all them, and but they didn't publish anything, so they lost the exclusive rights to the name Captain Marvel, and that's when Marvel swooped in and created Captain Marvel, their own. So now people are confused because his name is Shazam, but technically Shazam is the wizard,
Yeah,
not
right.
not the
Mhm.
boy. The boy is Captain Marvel. So obviously their powers are similar because they derive from Shazam's blessing. Basically,
Mhm.
it's a mystically endued power that's given to them. But Shazam for Black Adam is a different set of gods that loan their powers to Black Adam, as opposed to Billy Batson's Shazam. When he says Shazam, that's a different set of gods they give him power. It's an acronym.
Mhm.
So the Egyptian gods give Black Adam his power. So I think the S is for Shu, the H is for Horus or Heru.
Yeah, they went through
So,
all of that. Yeah.
right. Whereas with Billy Batson, the S is for Solomon, the H is for Hercules. So it's the Greco-Roman god. So
Mhm.
that's a difference for all you non-comic geeks out there.
Right.
I've been reading these things for about 50 years, so know a little bit about them. But yeah, so I was expecting him to. I'm glad they didn't downplay his power because he knows what he's doing with his powers.
Mhm.
Billy don't know what he's doing. Yeah, as we
Mhm.
saw for the movies, and for this new clip for the new Shazam, I'm even more. I'm gonna tell you, the only reason I go see the Shazam movies is because Megan Good is in there. I'll be honest with you. I'm very disappointed by the Shazam movies. I'm gonna go see this because Megan Good's in. I'm going to support Megan Good, but I have no high hopes for the story. DC doesn't DC doesn't seem like they want to get things right, but they got it right with Black Adam. I'm hoping that this is the beginning of a trend of them doing good action-packed movies without all the drama and the silliness that they've been doing. Either they try to go too funny or they try to go too dark, and
Yeah.
either way doesn't work. But anyway,
That being said, in contrast
okay.
to the new nigga movie that went out and everybody loves,
Only you, Jonathan. But go ahead. You're gonna give me more hate mail. That's okay. But go ahead, Jonathan.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Saw the movie when it first came out. That's exactly what I end up doing.
Hmm.
It was a good memorial to Chadwick. It was. It did the justice to Chadwick. Um, Other than that, the movie scale of 1 to 5 barely hit a 3. It wasn't what I expected. Now I understand they didn't want to recast the character. They went with the comic book storyline, which Shuri takes over. I'm
Hmm.
even okay with that. You follow the comic book, so I can't really say it's an agenda because of that. Because you just follow the comic book story. You follow the comic book story, so that whole agenda you got to throw that out the window because it followed the comic book story. But it took 2 hours for her to become the Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was only the Black Panther for 5 minutes in the whole movie. This was not a superhero movie at all. It was a drama. And that being said, it was brilliant because non-comic book fans loved it. They loved the
Right.
drama. It was brilliant. Don't get me wrong. It's brilliant to do that because all the ladies loved it. It was drama filled. It had women doing powerful things and all of that, and it was empowering for women and cool. Neymar was the only person I really liked because he didn't play. He wasn't a punk. He was, oh, you coming for us? I told you I was coming. Now I'm finna blow your mama up with some water.
With the water. Good water bombs, man. I was just thinking about water balloons. I'm like, man, who knew water balloons could be deadly?
Right, right, exactly. So he
But
came funk. He was not playing.
I'm gonna say this. I did like the Submariner, Prince Namor. Um, he was the avenging son, Namor. And again, I've been reading comics for 50 years, primarily DC and Marvel, so I'm very familiar with Submariner. Um, I didn't know how I was going to take this Mesoamerican Aztec / Mayan version of Namor, since in the comics his name is Namor McKenzie, so that lets you know, that where he's coming from.
Right.
In the comics, his mom is an Atlantean, and his dad is a human. All right, and this is just how he's born. He is the first mutant. I'm glad they mentioned that when he said he was a mutant. So I think people don't know how big of an Easter egg that is, but the fact that he said he was a mutant, he used the word mutant. Yeah, Marvel about to come with some X-Men stuff.
But hold on, man. I thought that Apocalypse was the first mutant.
Apocalypse, canonically, because I think Apocalypse was created by the Celestials, and I don't want to go deep into it. But I think the reason why they don't consider him the first mutant is because of the Celestials and then what they did with him, at least in the comic story. I'm not real familiar with the Marvel movies of the X-Men because I didn't really like them. I liked their casting, Professor X. I liked their casting of Magneto each time. But they really didn't follow the source material when it came to Phoenix too well, so I didn't like that. I did like the one where Wolverine went back in time. That was fascinating. But other than that, I can't really speak to the movies. I know Apocalypse, he's one of those villains that works my nerves, because he's one of the few that dares to try to punk Doom, even though it doesn't usually work well for him on that. He usually is whooping Thor's butt half the time whenever they've met in the past. But I'm gonna say this about Namor being, him saying mutant, um, and remember, Marvel couldn't even use the word mutant because they had the rights given over to the other studio. So that just solidifies the fact we're going to see the X-Men, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go with Namor. But the Aztec way they went with it, the Aztec Mayan way, I should say the Mayan way they went with it, I think was interesting. An interesting take on the character. I could accept it. His powers and the Atlanteans or those underwater people being related to vibranium was interesting take. A good plot ploy. And see, the only reason why it bothers me, because I don't know if you know in the comics, um, Atlantis in the comics existed during the time of Conan the Barbarian. So before it flooded. So there's a long history of Atlantis and the deviants that you might have been introduced to in the Eternals, and Conan the Barbarian, and a lot of things. So it just took it out of that. So obviously Marvel's not going to utilize any of that going forward, But with the Underwater Kingdom, I think it's a good take for the cinematic universe. Yes. It's definitely A for diversity. Talk about the trying to create the Black Brown Coalition. They did that with the Mayan connection and the African connection. I was just thinking about Los Angeles when they got to fighting. I said, this is how Mexicans and blacks do in LA. They brought it to the big screen with Wakanda versus Telecon, Telecon, I think the city was, or whatever they called it. So, but I'm glad that I still find it, dude killed your moms. I know she gave him mercy, but I just wonder how tenuous that relationship's going to be going forward.
Yeah.
He went for the Mac first. That didn't work. So,
Yeah.
so then I'm gonna kill your mom. I'm like, man, you should have known they was coming to get this girl when you took her in the first place.
Right. He hit it with a water balloon, bro. It was over with.
Yeah, you killed her mom with a water balloon. That's messed up.
So now, do you think there was an agenda behind this movie, man? You think it was some Disney put some of their stuff on it, some of their liberal issues on it? Put some
I think with all of these movies lately, that's why I think Black Adam again didn't get great ratings because it didn't go with the, all these comic movies have been going with the agenda of, or so I guess they call it, inclusion, but I think it's over inclusion. Like Thor: Love and Thunder, that was ridiculous. That's why I'll probably never watch that movie again. That movie is probably right above the Eternals as the worst Marvel movie I've ever seen. And even some of the worst movies I've ever seen, period, regardless of genre. But I think that it showed strong Black women trying to put things together. The king had been killed or had died. The king had died. And they didn't play the brothers shady like the brother from the gorilla tribe out there, in the mountains. He was very fatherly to and very big brotherly to Shuri. So I think that was good. There were obviously no Black men of any significant power in the movie.
Nope.
They couldn't. I mean, it had to be the Imperial Guard and the spy girl. Who, actually, I didn't know she was quite as fine as she was until I saw this last one. Wait a minute, she done stepped up her game. Maybe after the Will Smith incident, sitting there, she decided to step up her game or something. But overall, as a comic fan, I was pleased. I understood a lot of comic fans were mad.
Yes.
Were mad because, and I say, this has not happened before, really, where we had a major star die and have to deal with that. The guy, the writer and the
Heath Ledger
director, yeah, Heath Ledger. You didn't see a Joker for a long time. After Heath Ledger died, I mean, shoot, the next Batman movies with like Batman, Superman, we didn't see a Joker at all, And I think when they got to Suicide Squad, when they had the guy Jared Leto play the Joker, I think he did a great job playing the Joker as far as I was concerned.
I like it too.
But people just wasn't ready. You see, that's what happens. Jared Leto was dogged out as the Joker, and I think his Joker was probably one of the closest portrayals to the Joker of the comic book Joker. And he got dogged out because he wasn't Heath Ledger. So can you imagine whoever got casted as Black Panther, if they played Black Panther, it was a no-win situation.
I disagree.
You disagree? Okay, name me who they could have casted.
Here. What's one man who did the pianist? I can't remember that movie, man. There's some actors who have more star power than Chadwick Boseman who could have done and played that part.
I don't think it was the star power. I think the star power was one thing, but I think it's just he established the character in such a way. It was sort of like when Christopher Reeve first played Superman. It's kind of you can't just, if he had died, it would have been probably pretty hard for them to recast Christopher Reeve because people identify these actors with the characters so hard because Wakanda Black Panther was such a cultural phenomenon and Black people took it personal, like we were talking about real African nation. I'm waiting to see if the Mexicans flock to Namor like we flock to Black Panther. I'm curious. That's going to be a nice sociological experiment to see if Mexicans and Guatemalans and people who are related to the Mayan people flock out to go see the Namor movie and dress up in Aztec/Mayan Mesoamerican gear. I don't know how I feel about that. That's a conversation we'll have at a different time.
Right.
Because I like the character too. I'll admit in the comics I wasn't a big Black Panther reader when I was younger because he didn't appear that often. As later in the late 90s when you start really seeing Black Panther become what you see on screen, so I respect the character. I respect Marvel. I understand he was the first Black superhero created. Obviously, there was a purpose for that during the Civil Rights movement. But I don't know how I feel about black folks celebrating like this is an African tradition for us to celebrate, you know. However, that being said, I think the people who were behind the film had to be very careful. I think they handled it very well. I think, and I did put spoiler alerts to everybody who's watching. So if you haven't seen Black Adam or Wakanda Forever, please stop watching. But the introduction of the son, T'Challa's son, I think was good. It set up for them to get back to superhero business.
Right.
But this was more Namor being an asshole. Sorry, had to say it. Namor
I
in the
don't think he
comic.
was though.
Oh, he's consistently an asshole. Namor, Namor. I mean, you know, those of us who read comics a lot, we get take these guys personally. Like I can't stand Ultron, and you know, I don't like Apocalypse. Like I personally know this mug. And with Namor is just a jerk. He's always on. I mean, he wants to protect his people, but he's generally irrational about it. You know, his irrationality because and that was it was shown in the movie. He went about it the complete wrong way, you know, and almost got barbecued and filleted like a fish at the end. You know, he almost got grilled and filleted like a halibut. You
But
know,
it's like but it was like she said, if she killed, listen, she killed Namor. They whole squad took the heart shaped herb, not just
yeah.
one person. They kind of would have been done for, bro.
Yeah, because Wakanda don't have the manpower. They
Right,
have to. I mean, even like when we saw in what was it, Avengers: Infinity War, when they were getting overrun by Thanos and his everlasting minions, it took for Thor to show up to even that one out.
right.
You know, when Thor, in fact, I hate to say it, Thor is the Method Man of Marvel movies.
Right.
Great in everybody else's stuff, just don't put him in his own movie. You know, Thor is one of my favorite characters of all time. And I can say with a straight face, I have not liked any Thor movie that's been out.
What?
There have been parts of the movies that I like, but I
Mhm.
can't stand it. And Thor, literally, Doctor Doom is my favorite. Thor is like right next to him. You know, if I had to pick a hero in Marvel, not a villain, it would be Thor. And I'm like, I mean, I've read Thor since I was a kid, many epics. And the thing I don't like about how they do Thor is not for play. Everything is jokey with this Thor stuff. And not to be social political, but I'm gonna be social political for a minute. With Thor, honestly, I honestly think, and I'm gonna say this, and hopefully I don't get no hate mail for it, but part of the reason why they don't let Thor be the Thor that he is, and they're making him Alan Alda crying and adopting babies and stuff like that. I think it's part of the left having its demasculation tour. You know, is it demasculization, whatever you pronounce
Emasculating,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, demasculating men, um, and white men particularly. You know, like I don't know if you watch Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Discovery is a very woke Star Trek. They give white men. I don't think there's a white man on the bridge, and there's one white man in engineering. He's gay, and I'm all for diversity, but I mean that doesn't mean that we exclude white males, you know. And I think there is a conscious effort to do that. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I took from the Thor movies, especially the last one. Even though I like female Thor because I love that storyline. Also, she should have had her own show. They should have did that one instead of She-Hulk. They should. They should have did.
She-Hulk looked like I didn't want to see nothing about that. It didn't look
was
right.
funny. It was funny. You know, it follows the comic a little bit, but you know, it's just I think they could have did a whole story on Jane Foster Thor. They could have did the movie just about Jane Foster Thor. As far as I'm concerned, it would have been better than what they gave us. You know, so I'm not against representation of women characters. Just let it be what it is. You know, they could have did that. But I think the Thor movies, man, they play Thor for a joke, man. And in the comic books, Thor ain't no joke. All right, when Thor show up, it's on. When they hear that lightning and thunder in the background, Captain America or Iron Man go, uh-oh. Yeah, you don't set it off now because when he's playing. So like in Avengers Infinity War, when Wakanda was being overrun, that was the truest depiction of Thor in the comics that they did in the movies. When he came and he wrecked shop and they heard the thunder coming, and the Hulk or Bruce Banner and Iron Man armor is like, oh, you boys are in trouble now. And he was right.
Right.
He could have ended Thanos had he went for the headshot.
Right.
It ended Thanos, but it is what it is, So yeah, Thor is great when he appears in something, just not great in his movies.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get to Thor? I don't know. Talking about horrible Marvel movies, why I cannot stand any of the Thor movies. I can't. I'll never watch Love and Thunder again unless I'm forced to. I can occasionally watch the first one if I'm watching it in succession of some other Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was okay. I tried to watch it the other day. It's I.
Did you
The
like the
third
End
one
Game?
was that.
Did you like End Game?
Endgame was great too.
You like End Game?
I
Okay.
liked Endgame. I think it wrapped up that phase of Marvel very well, with
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man being the one who said, like in the first movie when he tried to lie and say that he wasn't, that was my bodyguard, and he said, "I'm Iron Man," right at the very beginning, and for him to end it as a hero and to take the glove from Thanos, and Thanos was that I am inevitable, and then Iron Man said I am Iron Man and saved the whole universe. A fitting tie
Yeah,
up
a
to that.
fitting end for the bastard who started all the turmoil in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he started the
Yes, he
turmoil.
did.
He
Look, go
didn't
back
get
and look at
the.
the movies. All the extra turmoil that he caused, it was him.
What do you
Alteron,
mean?
his problem.
All right, he ain't the one that sent Thanos looking for the damn Infinity
No,
Stone.
I get that part. I get that part. But all the other things that led up to Thanos, Alteron, the city that they destroyed. When you look through it and you chronicle it, it's his unbridled uh, passions that caused them extra harm. It was Tony Stark's problem fought to begin with. Go back and look at all the things he did.
All right, I'm looking at. All right, so Ultron definitely his fault. Ultron definitely his fault. Okay, the Mandarin, and well, I guess he pissed off the other geek that made that did that. Okay, yeah, he did
Yes,
piss off the
Tony
other geek.
Stark is a problem.
All right, but he
He's
didn't
really
bring.
an anti-hero.
Well, he didn't bring Loki. All right, Loki came on his own.
Okay, but
Loki was on his own agenda. That's what the first Avengers
okay,
and Thanos.
uh-huh.
So Thanos was coming anyway. Either way it went.
That's true.
So we're just lucky Iron Man was prepared. So yeah, he screwed up some, but that's real. Thanos was after them gems, and one or two of them was on Earth, so he was coming to Earth. And if there wasn't no Iron Man, I don't think they'd been ready for him. That version of the Marvel Universe.
I guess, man.
Tell me, what is your opinion of? Give me your opinion of the Thor movies.
I I didn't have a problem with the Thor movies. I haven't watched them twice. I saw it. Okay, it was cool. Didn't watch them again. In game, I watched them a few times. Marv, so I'm okay with Thor. I'm okay with it. I do think he's a little bit too. I don't want to say naive, but
Young acting,
yeah,
immature.
yeah. I'm with you. Listen, if I got thunder at my disposal, it's over, bro. It's a wrap. We not
Which,
even. What are we
which
talking about
which brings us back to Black Adam.
here?
That's how you handle having lightning powers. That's how you handle the lightning. That's why I said he handled it better than Billy Batson and Thor. Black Adam handled the lightning for real.
Yeah.
Shazam wouldn't handle the lightning like that in his movie. He's getting his butt whooped. Probably
Mhm.
get his butt whooped by these female goddesses in the next one. And Thor, every time he looks like he's going to use his power, like in what was the third one? The one that he did with the Hulk, where they were running around space and whatnot. And they got
Ragnarok.
yeah. Anyway, he's fighting the Hulk, and he finally lets loose that lightning.
Yeah.
I respect that. And also, I didn't like the fact that even that the Grand Master, played by Jeff Goldblum, played very well by Jeff Goldblum, was able to even capture Thor like that. When Odin dies, his power automatically goes to Thor. So I'm like, how is this Mark holding you? And they're calling you sparkly fingers, and I'm sorry. I was gonna let that one go for the comedy, but Thor: Love and Thunder, that Takiki dude, whoever that's producing it, I want to see him. If I saw him, I punch him in the mouth, bro. I punch him in the mouth. So okay. So what else is going on, man? What do you think about the next movies that are coming out? You got what you call it, Ant-Man. What are your expectations for that?
I haven't seen any of the Ant-Mans. I can't get up to an ant guy. I ain't. It doesn't tickle my fancy, bro. I ain't got nothing for an ant. What happened? Where'd you go?
Oh, I'm here. My bad.
Oh yeah, I had nothing for an ant. I never seen any of the Ant-Mans. Not one. I have no desire to either. It's an insect.
Honestly, I'm gonna say this. You should watch the Ant-Man movies. Better than Thor movies. Absolutely. Each one of them was better than Thor movies.
Really?
I've never been an Ant-Man fan.
Mm-hmm.
I thought when they said they were doing that, man, I'm like, oh, get out of here, man. I watched the first one, it was damn good. I watched the second one, it was even better. And the new one that comes out is going to introduce us to Kang the Conqueror. So you're probably going to want to see that because Kang, that's another one who ain't for play.
Mm.
You know, you saw the end of Loki, the series, right? You didn't see Loki, the series?
No, man.
Oh my God! Look, bro, I'm gonna have to bring you up. You need to see Loki so you understand this thing with Kang.
Okay.
If you watch any DC Plus series, watch, and I beg you to watch Loki. I don't care if you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier or WandaVision, which was actually good, but Loki is the one you want to watch. If you have to only watch one, watch Loki because it sets up the whole next phase, everything that's going on, and particularly what's about to go down. Because if Marvel is on the track of doing great movies, and I'm gonna say this, Black Panther was more mature than any of the Marvel movies I've seen. All right, it was more real life, if you know what I'm saying. How it was played. I don't know if that's how they're going to
social implications of what's really happening or what happened, and it's a drama.
Not just that.
A drama, man.
Yeah, not just that, but the CIA on that bullshit. You know, there's no Captain America around no more. His character's not around. Falcon's Captain America. If you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, you can see that's not working for a lot of people in the Marvel universe, in that show. It was a good series, and I think he's going to be a good Captain America. I think that we're all going to like it, but it does show America's becoming really like America now. All right, not the idealized one, we're on the right side of stuff because they was straight up about to go to war with Wakanda to get that vibranium. That's American, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's American. So that being said, I'm looking forward to the next phase of Marvel as long as they stop being uber woke. And people, please, I'm not saying that they're not supposed to be diversity of characters.
I am saying they shouldn't be.
No, there should be LGBT.
Stick to the comic book. You don't want diversity for diversity's sake.
But see, here's my thing. Marvel is one universe where they have diversity like that. They have LGBTQ characters.
That's true.
They have black characters. All they got to do is be Marvel.
Yeah.
DC was behind them in that aspect of having that type of diversity. That's why they had to struggle to, give us a black Batgirl or to give us a gay Captain Cold. Because DC was really behind. Marvel had LGBTQ characters. Marvel had real black characters that we actually like to read about, Luke Cage and Black Panther and Storm. So they didn't have to scramble to create some new stuff. All they had to do is tell their stories. And my thing was to keep telling the story. I will say Marvel did not have good Latino representation. I will say that. There are a couple Latino characters that I can't even remember the name of, unfortunately. However, by making Namor's relationship to the Mayan, I think that was a good move because it introduces, Latino characters, and it doesn't do it in a way where I feel is disingenuous. Like with that girl in the did you see Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness? Okay, so you saw the young girl running around. I forget her name. America. Yeah, Miss America. That's what they call in the comics. She's Latina, and she was Latina in the comics too. So, but they recently introduced her about maybe 6 years ago. So
I didn't really care for that one.
Well, I think that if you had to, did you see WandaVision?
Yeah, I did.
All right, so basically that was the end of WandaVision. It really wasn't a Doctor Strange movie. It was the end of WandaVision because it ended. Her family disappeared. Chick lost her damn mind, and They shouldn't just name the movie Scarlet Witch: Multiverse of Madness, guest starring Doctor Strange. Like he guest starred in Spider-Man,
right?
He should have guest starred in her movie because, of course, you can't have that much magic running around in the Sorcerer Supreme not have an idea something's wrong, you know.
Right.
So they didn't even have to make it a Doctor Strange movie. It should have been a Scarlet Witch movie, honestly.
And I thought the Spider-Man movie was hokey.
You really with the 3 Spider-Men? With the
Like, dude. So what I don't like is when you do stuff deliberately to try to tickle my interest. Just make a good movie.
Mhm.
Just make a good movie. You don't have to have all the 3 stuff of Spider-Man. So, the 3 Spider-Man. Now, if you're a Spider-Man enthusiast, I get it, but don't manufacture the story to get me interested. I'm already interested.
Well, I think they wanted to really lay out the whole multiverse thing so that people were prepared for what is coming. Oh,
hold on, brother. Get this. Oh, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
But you remind me of. Have you ever seen Primetime Glick?
Uh-uh.
All right. Well, Primetime Glick is an interviewer, and he'll always be interviewing someone. He'll just say, "Oh, hold on," grab his phone and start talking to his wife. He does like a talk show thing. It's hilarious. I'll send you Martin Short. He's hilarious. But yeah, man. Diversity is good, and like I said, as long as they're genuine about it, you know.
But I guess that's really what I'm saying. Diversity. Listen, if we're having a show and we talking about Wakanda in Africa, it's okay just to talk about Wakanda in Africa. Ain't no diversity in Africa. And niggas is black out there. What are we doing here? If you want to do Neymar and Mayans, that's cool too. But I don't want diversity for just to have diversity. We don't. What I'm saying is, if I'm doing a piece on Richard Graves, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't need diversity in that. It's about Richard Graves.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that, but I think it was organic with this one because Namor and Black Panther have a extensive history with each other. Namor, Black Panther, and Doctor Doom as monarchs. They meet frequently. They go to each other's countries and threaten each other nicely with a smile on each other's face. And then sometimes they have to team up. There's been times when Black Panther has teamed up with Namor and Doom, you know, and there's been times when Doom has teamed up with Namor, you know, or the Black Panther, depending on what their ultimate agenda is, because they operate as monarchs, and monarchs do kill, you know. But I think that him going to kill the queen was, I'm like, that was a little too much, because I'm like, dude, you knew they was coming for it. You know they was coming for this girl. So what is you mad about, you know? And the Wakandans, like I said, yeah, they're not capable of overwhelming Atlantis, because them people, as far as physical fighting, you know, and they got technology down there too, since they're making water balloons that can kill people and blow up stuff. So that's some dangerous water balloons. And then they could do all the singing and the siren stuff. I like that from mythology, where the merman or the mermaids would sing from and cause sailors to jump off of ships. That's, you know, I don't know if you're familiar with Navy. Well, you know, I was a Marine, so nautical stories, but that is a story about the mermaids that they used to make the sailors jump off the ships. You know, so that was a good tie-in to say where this myth came from, because they probably actually were doing it. You know, but I do miss the fact that we can't go as ancient with this Atlantis as, you know, back during Conan's time, you know, and, you know, Namor in the comics has a tie-in with the Greek Roman gods and a tie-in with Hercules, you know, for that, because Namor there has a relationship with Neptune, you know, but, you know, they're telling a different story, so they're not going to be exactly the same as long. Like I said, the diversity there made sense. You know, you got your Mexicans, Latinos, and you got your Africans and blacks. I see how they referred to us as the Lost Tribe a couple times there when they were talking about Riri. I think Riri should have had a little bit more. They should have shown some type of connection between her and Stark, though. That I was disappointed in, because in the comic they do have one. You know, he kind of sponsored her before he disappeared, you know, or died. So I could have taken it that this was just a kid that was brilliant that he had been sponsoring, you know, so that could explain her so easily coming up with Iron Man tech. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
You know. but I'm sure she'll have her own TV show. Bet you.
Oh, think she'll have a TV show, huh?
Oh, she's gonna get a TV show. You know that.
Okay.
You know that Suri packed a suit in the back of that car she gave her. So when she
Uh-huh.
gets back, she'll have a nice little modified suit to be Ironheart. You know, so
Hmm.
we'll see. That's my prediction. I could be wrong. You know, but yeah, I would suggest you watch the Ant-Man movies. But before you watch the Ant-Man movies, you need to watch Loki.
Loki.
Yes, so you can understand who Kang is. See,
Hmm.
Kang, you know, like when we tried to tell all y'all about Thanos when we first saw his little face in the Avengers movie,
Yeah.
we're like, oh, this that Thanos. Yeah, y'all don't know what's coming. Y'all like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm trying to tell you, Thanos ain't for play. The
Uh-huh.
new big bad is Kang, and Kang is not for play. Definitely not for play. And you need to you need to watch Loki, and then
Okay.
you'll be looking forward to seeing that Ant-Man movie. All
Okay.
right. Doctor Doom, we thought would be introduced in this one, was not. Will be because I guess they're doing a Fantastic Four movie. But Doctor Doom is also going to be the anti-hero for the whole wrap-up of this for Secret Wars. That much I do know for certain. Doom is going to do
Really?
his due. Oh yeah, man. Look, Doom ain't for play either, man. Doom ain't for play. I mean, if anybody's not for play, it's Doctor Doom. All right, Doctor Doom and Black Adam have a fairly similar mentality about their homes and their people. So it's about to get.
I
It's
don't
going
know
to get.
very much about Doom other than he was a villain.
Now, Doom is an anti-hero now. He
Hmm.
is a villain because his interest in the line with the interest of the United States of America. His interest. Well, here's what makes Doom a villain. Whereas Black Adam is content with being in Kandak, Doctor Doom's country of it's called Latveria. Latveria is also one of those countries, super technology. There's no hunger in Latveria. As Doom will say, no child goes to bed hungry in Latveria, and they give thanks to Doom. All right, so he runs his people. The only difference is Doom wants to take over the world because he feels that it would be better off in his hands. So I can understand him feeling that way, So I don't know if it's because I have megalomaniac tendencies, but I understand Doom. So anyway, we're looking forward to the next phase of things. So I'm gonna leave it at that, unless you got anything to add, bro.
No, man. Listen, my favorite characters are Magneto, Thanos, Superman. I like Superman. Okay, I like Superman.
So you must have been happy at the end of Black Adam.
Yeah, I was
Superman
like,
showed up.
yeah. Listen,
Did
they
you,
softened up Superman too.
what's that?
Superman is a beast too, but they softened him up, man.
Superman ain't for play if he's really being Superman.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like I
Superman ain't
was gonna say in the Black Adam movie, what I did like, you notice how they played up all his powers, and you saw him in operation when he was moving in super speed.
Mm-hmm.
It was sort of like Quicksilver in the Marvel movies, or even with Flash.
Mm-hmm.
You saw how fast he is because everything slows down except
Mm-hmm.
him. He
Mm-hmm.
moving bombs, and that's how fast. See, people don't understand. The only people in comics, this is arguable. I'm sure I'm going to get some text messages on this one. The only people faster than the Flash are Black Adam and Captain Marvel Shazam. They're the only ones because they have the speed of the gods.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Captain Marvel has caught Barry Allen, flew up and snatched him up. And there was one book, and it's called I forgot the name, Injustice. All right, there's a book called Injustice, and that's when he flies and catches Barry. But there's another series out. I cannot remember the name of it. But what happens is Superman goes rogue. They just did a movie about it.
Mm-hmm.
Superman goes rogue, and all the heroes are fighting. There's Batman's camp, Superman's camp. Superman took over the world.
Oh, when
So
did they gonna come out with that movie? We seen Flash.
they did. Well, animated version. They came out with the animated version.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But after this, but the animated version did no justice to the books because the books were brutal. So in one issue of the books, the gods come. Zeus is tired of Superman's bullshit, bottom line. So Zeus comes to Earth and he says, "That's it. You're not running. We're running it. We should never abandon Earth anyway." And there was nothing that Justice League could do about it. I mean, Zeus and the gods came down wrecking shop. All right, and then so the Justice League shows up to fight the Greek Roman gods. So Superman fights Hercules. Hercules punches him one time, knocks him straight into the sun. One punch, Hercules, pow. All right, so then the Flash thinking he's the Flash, and the Speed Force is zooming around. And Mercury, the god who gives Captain Marvel his speed, said, "Oh, they have a speedster." Reached into the Speed Force, snatched him out, and beat his ass. That's what I'm talking about. That's how the gods did him. So the only thing that saved them was Highfather from New Genesis, Darkseid's counterpart, came and spoke to Zeus and said that he needed to stay out of what was happening. Other than that, they was done. Just like that, and then for the gods. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm showing my inner geek now. So that being said, watch Loki, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Watch Loki.
Okay.
Then we'll talk. All right.
All right, man.
So everybody, thanks for tuning in to me and Jonathan geeking out. Sorry if we ruined stuff with the spoilers for you guys, but go see Black Adam. I'm gonna see Black Adam again. Wakanda Forever. I highly recommend everybody go see it. It was an exceptional movie, in my opinion. It was a nice tribute to
Rich. Exceptional. Come on,
it was
man.
exceptional in the part that it was. I think it was real world, and not just by showing. Not real world in the grand scheme of showing that America is evil, trying to steal resources, and Europe and France were evil for trying to exploit Africa. We know that. I think it was real world in the extent of showing the grieving process and allowing the fans to grieve with the characters and the actors. So the actors are really grieving, and the characters were grieving. The characters are grieving Black Panther. The actors were grieving, Chadwick Boseman. All right. The fans were grieving that too. So as a comic fan, it's okay. Give everybody a pass on this one. It closed it out. It dealt with the elephant in the room. I don't think if they recast them right now, it would have been a good thing. I think it would have failed. And I think that it was good. And I'm looking forward to the next one. Looking forward to where the franchise goes going forward. That's all I'd say about that. Okay, so. I know you said what you said. You're like, it's a drama.
It's not even.
It was drama. It was drama, man. All right, bro. So we'll talk a little bit later, man. God bless everyone. Have a nice Sunday. Enjoy your sporting events, people.
Yes.
All right. And we'll see y'all probably next week. Y'all take it light. Peace.
All right, man. Yeah.